Yo, what's good, y'all? This is your boy Jay Vari bringing y'all a new upload, and in this video right here, I'm actually going to be reacting to a video that I got in my YouTube feed from CNBC talking about Nvidia and how they've become one of the most valuable companies in the world right now. They've officially surpassed Apple and Microsoft and they're currently worth now like $3 trillion. So I thought this video was gonna be pretty interesting because like I have heard like a lot of the hype behind Nvidia and everything, especially like in the AI space with like the microchips that they're creating and everything, and how they're like really utilizing Chat GPT, you know, to like help further advance the new technologies and everything that's being invented with AI, and you know, the new processors and data centers and everything that's going to be using AI, and they've kind of been like one of the front runners, or like one of the leaders, the pioneers, like in this whole, you know, AI fiasco right now, especially like with the product that they provide. So with that being said, before we get into the video, I ask that you guys please subscribe to the channel, also like the video, and also leave a comment down below of what you guys think about Nvidia. And you know, let me know if you guys like have some stock in it. Well, a friend of mine mentioned the other day, like, you know, you guys should look into buying Nvidia. You know, I looked at it, I looked at the chart and everything, and kind of like, just for my investor risk profile, I'm kind of just like, I'll wait because I don't want to get in right now among like where like there's so much hype within it. So yeah, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get into the video, and yeah, go ahead and full screen it, and here we go.
Nvidia's rise was super quick.
Record highs, record closes for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ as Nvidia hits a record of its own.
Another day, another record for Nvidia.
If you look at when ChatGPT was first announced, that was the fall of 2022. So it's a really, really fast rise in a very short amount of time. Apple.
And that's kind of like one of the things too that does kind of like, you know, make me say, okay, let's not invest right now. Let's actually wait and like let all of like, you know, like the FUD and everything like clear out. You know what I mean? Because like, you know, just seeing like that much growth in such a short a time, you know, just as fast as they, you know, started rallying up, they can come down just as fast. You know what I mean? So that's also why like I'm kind of like I'm just chilling, sitting on the sideline right now.
It took 1,793 days, or less than 5 years, to go from a $1 trillion company to a $3 trillion company. Nvidia says, hold my beer. They did the same thing, 1 to 3 trillion, in less than a year.
When ChatGPT came out, Nvidia was worth less than $1 trillion. Then 6 months, 7 months after ChatGPT, in May of 2023, it hit $1 trillion. And at the time, people were starting to realize that if AI was a gold rush, Nvidia was the one making the shovels. The Nvidia craze just never stopped. It hit $2 trillion in February of this year.
And right now, I would say Nvidia is definitely, no doubt about it, dominating the industry that it's in. You know, it's kind of like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you're making a product and, you know, you're just making it at the right time when there's a new opportunity to capitalize on it. You know,
it's been an absolute incredible run, but it has been absolutely.
They also had their stock split last week too. I remember hearing about that. Yep.
Backstopped by the fundamentals.
6-8 months later, its value has already doubled. And then from $2 trillion, it only took just over 3 months for it to hit $3 trillion.
It's really tough to get to 3 trillion.
That's a lot of growth, man. And you know, like that's one of the things that get like so many retail investors like caught up, you know, and investing in the stock and potentially like getting in at like a bad price. Because I looked at the chart, and yesterday I looked at it, it was Nvidia's stock price is at like around 135, and it's still trailing higher. But you know, my thing is like, I don't want to get in at 135 and then it rallies for a little bit and then it starts to come back crashing down below that 135 level, potentially back down to like the $90, not do like the 115 to like $90 price range. You know what I mean? I'm just cool sitting on the sidelines. You know, I don't want to put money in and then lose value on it because I got in at the wrong time. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just one of those things. It's like, do you wait or do you get in and, you know?
That said, though, if you're designing the perfect momentum company from scratch, Nvidia would be it.
They're making a lot of money for each one of the chips they sell. These are very profitable devices.
We see the orders for GB200. We see the orders for the B200. Nothing is slowing down.
There may not be a chip that's really competing or challenging its flagship H100 or the forthcoming GB200, but the competition is coming. Intel talked about its AI accelerator and said it was going to be much, much cheaper than Nvidia's. Now,
and see, now you have the competition coming in trying to undercut them. You know what I mean? So my thing is, you know, it's kind of just like, you know, will they really be able to, like, you know, keep up with the chip demand and also too have to deal with like their competitors, you know, trying to offer the same products and then like undercutting them for their prices? Because like as they just said, Nvidia charges a pretty hefty price tags for to make these chips and then to sell them to the people that want to buy them, you know, or to the companies that want to buy them, you know. So with companies like Intel and AMD coming in, you know, and trying to like undercut them, you know, will they be able to like sustain like this growth, you know? I know there's gonna be people that are gonna be like, yeah, Nvidia can do it, man, you know, blah blah. You see how much growth they've had in like less than a year, you know. I'm like, I get all that, but you know, it's nobody really knows what's gonna happen, you know what I mean? So that's why I say like I'm just cool sitting on the sideline. You guys watching, you guys may be different. Maybe you wanna, you know, hop in on the Nvidia train. And don't get me wrong, like for like long-term investment, it's not a bad play. But like even still, like for your long-term investment, you still want to like be able to like get in at better prices or like, you know, good prices instead of like just hopping in when it's at the top of the hype, you know.
There may still be performance questions and that kind of thing, but if it's that much cheaper, everyone's going to take a look at it because it can save them a lot of money. Yeah. And it's not just Intel. AMD is coming with a GPU. All of the biggest customers, which include Microsoft.
Like that is like what it is with these companies, these big corporations. Their whole thing is, okay, how do we get the best bang for our buck while also maximizing our profits, you know? So we can do something cheaper and get like a 5x or 10x gain off of it. We'll damn well do that, you know. But that's just how like these big corporations think, you know.
And Meta and Amazon, they're developing their own chips too. Everyone is looking to save money because these Nvidia chips are quite pricey.
6 months ago, you'd sometimes hear folks say, well, I like AMD as a comeback kid, and they're going to be kind of second on the wave of the AI crest that Nvidia started. And I think what we've seen, especially in the last couple of weeks, when you've looked at HPE's results or Dell's results, Nvidia is really just sucking up the profits and the gross margins in this space to the tune of something like 75%. And others are happy to come along for the ride, hoping to sell other services afterwards, but they are getting the dominant share. So don't mess with success.
Yeah.
So competition is definitely the biggest challenge for Nvidia. Not only do you have its customers and its rivals, you also have hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions, going into venture investment for new.
Yeah, and see like these companies that like they're gonna be investing into all these startups. You know what I mean? They're basically gonna be trying to like kind of undercut Nvidia, you know. But that's the thing about, you know, about markets and industries, man. You know, but competition is a good healthy amount of competition is actually good for an industry. But as these guys are saying, you know, since Nvidia has such a big jump ahead of the game, ahead of everybody else, you know, it might take some time for like a lot of these startups and like even other companies like Apple. I know Apple is like integrating AI into like their iPhones and like the other devices that they have. Microsoft, you just heard like they were saying that Amazon is also doing the same thing, trying to like integrate AI into like their systems and their technologies and everything. So, you know, it's kind of just like Nvidia is so far ahead, and it might take some time for like these other companies to like actually catch up, you know, to what Nvidia is doing, you know.
Companies that are doing nothing but aiming at Nvidia's crown.
But here's what I think about the competition. I think Nvidia will stay ahead. It's a very, very big pie. AMD is a well-regarded company. They will get a slice. But Nvidia will still stay top dog. Intel is a company, at least on the manufacturing side, that has been the gang that hasn't been able to shoot straight for about 20 years now, Joe. And so I think that they will make a comeback in PC-oriented CPUs, but all their
Intel is only worth $30 a share right now? Huh. Oh, interesting.
Claims about AI, maybe they get there, but I will believe it when I see it.
To keep everything in perspective, Nvidia's sales, even though they've tripled in the last year, are still far, far short of Microsoft's annual sales and Apple's annual sales. And they have really nice, durable margins too. It's hard to see Nvidia replacing Apple or Microsoft in the technology ecosystem, but could it take the crown of most valuable US company? Yeah, I think that's possible.
Yeah, and he's saying, like, you know, they could take the crown as like the most valuable company in the US, you know, but will they still be able to like generate the same type of like revenue and sales that Apple and Microsoft does? I fully agree. I mean, oh, that was it.
All their claims about AI, maybe they get there, but I will believe it when I see it.
To keep everything in perspective, Nvidia's sales, even though they've tripled in the last year, are still far, far short of Microsoft's annual sales and.
Okay, so back to what he said about how like even though they've like tripled their sales, you know, they still fall short of like what Apple and Microsoft do. And, you know, still, when I hear that, I think of like, okay, you know, right now, fundamentally, in the short term, the fundamentals, they align with Nvidia, you know, the stock price and the value of the company heading higher. But, you know, eventually later down the line, you know, what sort of challenges will they have to go through, or what sort of challenges, you know, will like come up as we continue to like progress through the year, you know, because right now currently we're in the sixth month of the year, halfway through the year already, you know. So like 3 months from now or in the next quarter, you know, kind of like what sort of challenges would Nvidia be facing or come across, and will those challenges and will those fundamental will those fundamental events, you know, really test Nvidia's, you know, market value, you know, will it, like when would they be tested? You know, what sort of fundamental drivers will come into play? What sort of economic events will come into play? You know, that kind of like, you know, that'll kind of make a video go, okay, well, we need to like dig into like some of our revenue, some of the money that we have, and like put it towards other things, and that in turn is gonna like drive their stock price down, you know. So I don't know, man. It's just up in the air, man. Like I said, I'll keep an eye on it. Me personally, I'm gonna keep an eye on it, you know. But I do want to see like some sort of like retracement first before I even consider getting in, because when one of my friends like mentioned it, at that point it was like at $125, and then that same week they went through their 10-for-1 stock split, right? So, you know, I don't know. I'm just comfortable sitting back and waiting to see what happens. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be sad or like mad or anything that like, oh man, I missed out on Nvidia, blah blah blah. I mean, if they're here to stay, they're here to stay. You know, so you know, markets don't go up continuously forever. You know, eventually they come back down, they correct themselves, they retrace, and then you can potentially find yourself a better buying opportunity versus buying at the top ahead of all the hype. You know, and which, for my opinion, right now, Nvidia is just like really it's like just so much hype around it. You know, and they're just so much farther ahead of the game than their competitors. You know what I mean? But my main question is, you know, will they be able to like maintain this momentum that they have, or how long will they be able to maintain this momentum for? So, this was a fun video. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. You know, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. If you guys stayed this long, I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also like the video, and also too, remember I said comment down below what you guys think of Nvidia. If you guys think you know the hype is here to stay, it's gonna keep going to the moon or whatever. If you're one of those type of people, you know, or if, you know, if you're kind of like a more skeptical, kind of like more realistic investor, like other people can be. So, with that being said, this is Jay Davari, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out.